All right. Hello. Uh, got to thinking, talking with some of my friends and stuff. Uh, everybody's pretty excited to try to play Season of Discovery, and not a single one of us played Season of Mastery. And while they haven't exactly said what changes are going to be in from Season of Mastery, I thought it'd be nice to look over and just see what we might get. Because I'm assuming if I don't know anybody who played Season of Mastery, then there's probably a lot of people in the same boat as me who just didn't know and stuff. So there were some pretty good changes in here that I'm really hoping that we get. Um, I doubt we'll get this experience buff. Season of Mastery pretty much only changed the end game, nothing with leveling at all. So they just try to get people to end game, right? This whole players not benefiting from world buffs in raids. Some people might like that, but I guess they took care of that with the chrono thing and where you can save your world buffs and use them when you want to. That's kind of in effect now on the classic servers. But the buff and debuff limits being removed, uh, that's pretty cool. Having the debuff limit on bosses meant you just couldn't use certain items that had procs on them, or certain classes just couldn't dot and stuff. Um, these are just some experience things that had to be adjusted because people were leveling in groups. And then here we got the looking for group tool from Burning Crusade Classic being added. You know, that could be a thing people like. This is all. But now here we get into like the content stuff. And I don't know if this stuff is live on the current live servers of Classic. But they made significant adjustments to Onyxular and Molten Core bosses. Had their health increased. Augmentations to many existing boss mechanics and new mechanics introduced to challenge players in Season Mastery. Maybe we'll get those because these were all in-game raids, at level 60. So, they wouldn't even have to announce this until pretty far into it. Alright, but here's some neat stuff. The availability of mining and herbalism nodes has been significantly increased in all zones, as well as max level herbalists have a slight chance of obtain Black Lotus when looting a high level herbalism node. So Black Lotuses just become like Arcanite crystals out of thorium nodes, which is really good. And more Plague Bloom in Western Eastern Plague Lands. Then they increase the availability of elemental fire, earth, and waters. We have the Soul of Iron. I don't know what this is. Dungeons achieve some adjustments. So Stratholme, all undead creatures in Stratholme will now gain immunity to snare effects 30 seconds after entering combat, and immunity roots after an additional 30 seconds. Okay, so this is just all these things here are just to stop mages from AoE farming. Okay. Oh, you can't pickpocket in BRD anymore. Okay. Okay, here's the thing. There's been a reduction to the cost of training riding skills and purchasing level 40 mounts. Could be a thing. Dire Maul being available at launch. That would be cool. The Gordok tribute chest and Dire Maul can no longer be looted by players that did not on the tap list for King Gordok himself. Changes made patch 1.1. The dungeon rewards will be in place at the launch, including the available of idols, librams, and totems. Okay, so you know how like at some point some things get added in the thing, and it says Hand of Justice and Blackrock Depth, so you can't, instead of getting Hand of Justice from that the guy early in BRD, it's actually off of Emperor at the end. It's just kind of a pain. Can't solo farm it anymore. Which I solo farmed it on my Paladin. It was just a pain in the butt. It took me like three or 4 hour sessions of farming it over and over again to get it. It was such a pain. I got it like 5 hours before the servers were going to reset and change the loot to Emperor. Reputation vendors. Drop some. The world drop plans for Titanic Legends Sageblade will be made available in the future content phase. Summon Elemental Templars and Dukes in the Twilight Hammer camps in Siltus to facilitate the completion of the Dungeon Set 2 quest line at the launch of Season of Mastery. That's actually huge. Like, if we were to actually get this the moment like we turn 60 and can do the Dungeon Set 2, get the 0.5 gear or whatever they called it, that would be really cool. All level 5 class will be available at the launch. And then of course they removed the plus healing bonus to Diamond Flask. Some warriors couldn't just be like unkillable with Diamond Flask active. And then here, the PvP, they doubled the maximum amount of weekly ranking gained. So we could see like there's a lot of really good changes in here that, you know, we would hope to see in Season of Discovery. Otherwise, like, Season of Mastery would have really felt like a complete waste of time, which it kind of was. I mean, that's why nobody played it, right? It really just wasn't that popular. But there's also some other changes that I would love to see go in to Season of Discovery as well. Like, it is supposed to be like this Season of Discovery where we're supposed to play with the runes and specs and stuff like that. So I'd really like to see them drastically reduce the cost of respecking. Right? If you're gonna have a 50 gold cap on respecs, like, you can't even get like 50 gold at level 25 would just be such a pain in the ass if you had actually respec that many times. But some classes actually have a lot of new tools to play with, and you know, people might want to try some stuff out, especially like at level 40 plus and things. Like, I'd like to see them facilitate these this sense of exploration and just trying different things out by like drastically reducing the cost of respec caps, maybe just to 5 gold or 10 gold or something like that. I know people talked about dual specs. I'm not sure dual specs actually a thing we should have in Classic. I think respecking back and forth between raids and PvP and stuff like that is something that you should actually have to farm for and kind of earn to keep the economy thriving. But that's just kind of me. But also, like, as the thing goes on, if this is successful and it is popular, you know, we actually see the population kind of increasing over time. I could see them going in and adding XP buffs, like, once they actually release the level 60. Like, once we get the level 60 cap, maybe like a month into that, giving us massive XP gains. Just so that new players could get caught up really fast, I think would be really good. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to make a video going over this stuff because I'm sure there's going to be people in the same camp that just didn't know what Season of Mastery was, and you know, that we might actually get some of these changes, which could be really cool to plan for. Dire Maul being out on release, be really good. So stuff like that. Leave it there, and I'll catch you next time.